Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are looking at a specific window of time that, well, frankly, it usually kind of sucks.
Right.
The holidays are over, the decorations are down, the weather is gray almost everywhere. But Disney's decided this specific gray window is the perfect time for their most colorful event of the year.
It is.
We are heading to Florida for the 2026 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts.
And it's a fascinating bit of timing. So, to ground everyone, today is January 20th, 2026. This festival kicked off just 4 days ago,
Okay.
and it only runs until February 23rd. So that's a really tight 39-day sprint.
Which is incredibly short for Disney. I mean, Food and Wine feels like it lasts half the year.
Oh, yeah.
Flower and Garden goes for months and months. Why squeeze this into, what, barely a month? It feels like if you blink, you miss it.
It's strategic scarcity. They're targeting that exact post-holiday lull. Think about it. Families are back in school. The Christmas crowds are gone. They need to get people, especially locals and diehards, through the gates when tourism naturally dips.
Okay, that makes sense.
And looking at the slate for 2026, they're not just relying on food booths this time. They're, I think, fundamentally changing how you interact with the park itself.
Right, we're talking about the famous three pillars, the visual, performing, and culinary arts. But I saw something in the notes about a shift toward, like, gamification.
Exactly. We're going to cover the food. We'll cover the Broadway stars, obviously. But the headline for 2026 is that the park is becoming a game board.
The game board.
Yeah. If you thought Lorcana was just a card game you play at home, this festival is trying very, very hard to change your mind.
It sounds like we have a lot to get through. Let's start with the one that feels the most traditional, but also seems to cause the most headaches for people planning.
The performing arts.
The performing arts.
Yeah.
Specifically, the Disney on Broadway concert series.
Right. This is happening over at the American Gardens Theater in the American Adventure Pavilion. Now, for the uninitiated, you might hear concert series and think,
Theme park cover band.
Exactly. You picture a generic singer in a tux belting out Circle of Life.
Which, to be fair, is usually what you get at a theme park.
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
But the Festival of the Arts is different. The hook here isn't just that they're singing Disney songs. It's who is singing them.
Okay.
The festival brings in the actual musical stars who helps make these songs famous on Broadway. You're not watching some cast member pretending to be the genie.
You're watching the guy, like maybe James Monroe Iglehart, who originated the role.
You're watching the actual talent.
That is a massive distinction. It changes it from, background noise while you eat a pretzel to a legitimate theatrical event.
It does. But here's the catch for 2026, and this is where the planning gets tricky.
Oh.
The lineup rotates every 2 weeks.
So if I book my trip for late January, I am seeing a completely different show than if I booked for, say, Valentine's Day.
Precisely. It forces repeat visits, which goes right back to that strategy of getting locals in the gate more than once.
Right.
These concerts happen 3 times daily, and while they are technically included with your admission, this is where that efficiency comes into play. Because the talent is so high tier, the lines are brutal.
Oh, I can imagine.
You see people lining up hours in advance, just wasting valuable park time.
Which sounds miserable. I'm not flying to Florida to stand in a concrete queue for 2 hours. Is there a way around that?
The dining packages.
No, of course.
They went on sale back on December 17th. And yeah, it sounds like an upsell, and let's be honest, it is. But what you're really buying is time.
Okay.
You eat a meal at a participating restaurant, and you get a guaranteed seat badge for a specific showtime.
So you're essentially buying a fast pass for your stomach.
In a way, yes. If you value your time over your wallet, it's really the only way to do it. It transforms a wait in line and pray for a seat experience into a walk right in experience.
Fair point. Now, speaking of eating, let's move to that second pillar, the culinary arts. Disney is very insistent on calling these locations food studios, not booths. Is that just marketing fluff, or is there an actual difference?
There is a difference, but you definitely pay for it. At Food and Wine, you get, like, a bratwurst or a cheddar cheese soup. It's hearty, it's tasty, but it's pretty standard fare.
Yeah.
At Festival of the Arts, the whole mandate is culinary creativity and picture-perfect presentation.
So don't eat it until you've Instagrammed it.
Essentially, yes. The food is treated like visual art. You'll see sauces used as paint strokes across the plate. You'll see desserts built to look like a Mondrian painting.
Wow.
You'll see colors, bright teals and purples that you just wouldn't find in a normal quick-service meal.
That sounds incredibly labor-intensive for the kitchen staff.
It is, which is why the portions are often smaller and the prices may be a bit higher. But you're paying for the aesthetic. And with over 20 of these food studios around the park, you physically cannot hit them all in one day.
Not without a stomach pump, anyway.
Exactly. So the insight here isn't eat everything, it's curate your plate. The source material specifically mentions a foodie guide on the Disney Parks blog.
Right.
For anyone listening who wants to maximize their time, going in blind is a huge mistake. You need a strategy. You have to decide, am I here for the deconstructed key lime pie, or am I here for the beef Wellington that looks like a sculpture?
Strategy is key. I like that. But let's be honest, the food is really just the side dish to the main event here.
True.
It's called the Festival of the Arts, after all. Let's talk about the visual arts pillar.
This is what gives the park its whole identity for these 39 days.
Yeah.
When you walk in, the atmosphere is just completely different. You have chalk art galleries on the sidewalk
That disappear when it rains, right?
and then get redrawn.
Yep.
You have the expression section, which is that huge paint-by-number mural where guests actually paint a little square to contribute.
I've always loved that mural concept. It's surprisingly satisfying to paint one tiny square and realize you're part of this massive image. It feels, I don't know, communal.
It is. It's communal ownership of the park. For a few seconds, you're not a guest, you're an artist. But I want to focus on the professionals. We have the artist lineup for 2026, and looking at their bios, a really cool pattern emerges about, like, the cast life side of Disney.
Okay, who stood out to you this year?
Two artists really illustrate the range. First, let's look at a newcomer for 2026, Wazana Ayarusa.
Okay, let's dig in.
So she's a graduate at the Fashion Institute of Technology, class of '08. But her backstory is just so relatable. She grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, and the source material describes her drawing in a Snow White decorated room while watching a worn-out VHS of The Little Mermaid.
Oh, that pause, rewind, pause, friction. I know that. That is how a whole generation learned to draw. You just ruin the tape trying to catch the exact frame where Ariel's hair floats just right.
Exactly. And now she's a senior character artist for Disney Consumer Products. She focuses on the ducks like Donald and Daisy Mickey and the princesses. It's a perfect example of childhood consumption turning into professional creation.
From watching the VHS to drawing the characters for a living, that really is the dream. And then we have a veteran returning.
Yes, Dylan Bonner. This is his 6th year at the festival. He's an illustrator based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And interestingly, he shares that same foundational DNA with Rosanna.
No way.
He started creating art as a kid, specifically because he was just enamored with The Little Mermaid.
That film did a lot of heavy lifting for the art world, didn't it?
It seems so. Dylan works on Disney princess properties across comics, toys, fine art. The insight here isn't just, oh, look at the pretty pictures. It's realizing the people creating this art were once the kids running around these parks.
So the festival isn't just selling art, it's showcasing the end result of that fandom pipeline. The kid watching the movie becomes the adult drawing the comic book.
That's the so what of it. When you walk past those tents, you're not just seeing corporate art, you're seeing the result of decades of personal passion. It humanizes the whole massive Disney machine.
I love that. It makes walking past those art tents feel a lot more significant. But now we have to talk about the play.
Yes.
We've covered the look, the listen, and the eat. But the notes for 2026 mention a huge shift toward interactive arts.
This is the biggest differentiator for 2026 for sure. We are seeing the park turn into a game board.
And we have to start with the classic, Figment.
Right, Figment's brush with the masters.
Yeah.
This is the scavenger hunt that returns year after year because it just works.
It's great.
The premise is simple. Figment, our little purple dragon, is hiding inside famous works of art located within the World Showcase pavilions.
So you're looking for a new detail in an old painting.
Exactly. You buy a map at like Creation Shop or Disney Traders. As you find Figment in the pavilions, you place a sticker on the map. When you're done, you return it for a special keepsake.
It's a great way to keep kids engaged while parents are maybe enjoying those 20 food studios we mentioned.
Totally. But the headline for 2026 isn't the dragon hunt.
Yeah.
It's the card game.
Yes, the integration of Disney Lorcana. Now, for those who haven't been paying attention to the geekier side of Disney, what exactly is Lorcana?
Think Magic. The Gathering or Pokemon, but with Disney characters. It's a trading card game, a TCG, where you build decks and battle opponents using ink to summon characters. It's been a massive commercial hit.
Massive.
And now they're physically integrating the game's mechanics into EPCOT. This is not just selling cards in a shop. This is a multi-layered interactive experience.
How does a card game work in a theme park? Are we just like sitting at picnic tables?
Yes and no. There are different layers to this, almost like difficulty settings. First, you have the social layer. They've set up an Lumineers Lounge in the Morocco Pavilion.
An Illumineers Lounge, that sounds official.
It's a dedicated space. The idea is you open booster packs and you trade cards with other guests right there. It takes this solitary hobby and gives it a physical home inside the park. And if you participate there, in the collection quest, you get a limited edition Donald Duck Pie Slinger card.
A pie slinger, Donald. That sounds very appropriate for him. Okay, so that's the trading aspect. But there's a scavenger hunt component here, too.
Yes, that's the second activity, called Ink and Find. This one forces you out of the lounge and into the park itself. You're looking for these larger-than-life trading cards hidden around EPCOT.
Giant cards. Hard to miss, I would assume.
You'd hope so, but EPCOT is big. You match these giant cards to stickers in a festival quest book. And here's a key detail for the budget-conscious listener.
Oh.
The quest book is complimentary. It's free. You can pick it up on the bridge between World Celebration and World Showcase.
Free is always a good price point at Disney.
Absolutely. And if you complete the Ink and Find, your reward is a Rapunzel Appreciative Artist Magical Places card.
Okay, so we have Donald for trading, Rapunzel for exploring, but knowing Disney, there has to be a way to just buy your way to victory.
You know them well. There's a third card. Stitch Rockstar. You can't find it, you can't win it through a quest, you have to buy it.
There it is, the pay-to-play mechanic.
Effectively, yes. If you purchase a specific item, the Arcasia's Island Illumineers Trove at Disney Traders or Souk Al Maghreb, you get the Stitch card as a gift with purchase. They've gamified the shopping experience itself.
So we have a free track, a social track, and a commercial track.
In a nutshell, yes. And to cap it all off visually, there's an artful photo op that ties into this, featuring card art from the Fabled set. You've got Mickey as the brave little prince and Minnie as the sweetheart princess.
So what does this all mean? We're really seeing a shift from just looking at art to playing the art.
That is the key takeaway. It deepens the engagement. You aren't just watching past Morocco. You're going into Morocco to trade cards. You aren't just crossing a bridge. You're grabbing a quest book to start a mission. It changes you from a passive observer to an active participant.
Or an Illuminea in their lingo.
An Illumineer, exactly.
And speaking of participation, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle. Taking the art home.
The merch.
The merchandise. Because if you didn't buy the shirt, were you really there?
Merchandise at these festivals is never just stuff, it's storytelling. And for 2026, the muse is undeniably Figment. But it's how he's depicted that's interesting.
The purple dragon reigns supreme.
He does, but he's active. The Spirit jersey is described as being this vibrant teal, purple, and pink, and it features Figment actually drawing the World Showcase.
I like that meta layer. He's drawing the park we're standing in.
Exactly. Then you have the Loungefly ear headband. It's got a purple bow with fireworks and a Spaceship Earth medallion in the center. Very specific to this event.
And for those who need a cuddle buddy, there's the plush.
The Figment plush this year is wearing a paint-splattered artist's apron and a beret holding a paintbrush. Again, he's the creator. He creates this very specific character moment.
It paints a picture, pun intended. What about accessories?
They have a baseball hat with Figment painting Spaceship Earth and a really interesting novelty bag that converts from a purse to a backpack. But the one that struck me as most practical is the Corksicle water bottle. It has music notes and paintbrushes on it.
Staying hydrated is an art form in Florida.
It truly is. But looking at all of this, the jersey, the plush, the bottle, the theme reinforces that idea of sparking imagination. It's not just branding, it's an invitation to be creative yourself.
So when we zoom out and look at this 39-day event, it feels different from Food and Wine. It feels denser. Like it demands more of you.
It is dense. If we recap, the festival runs January 16th through February 23rd. That is your window. And because of the complexity we just talked about, the changing concerts, the 20-plus food studios, the multiple Lorcana quests, you really need a plan.
I can't just wing this one.
Not if you want to get the full value. You need to check the dining packages for Broadway. You need to grab that foodie guide. And if you're into Lorcana, you need to know exactly where that Illumineers Lounge is.
It sounds like this festival is demanding more from us than just showing up.
That is the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
The so what here is that the 2026 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts distinguishes itself by demanding participation. Whether you're painting a square on the mural, hunting for Figment, or trading cards, you are doing something. You're a doer, not just a viewer.
Which Which honestly makes for a much more memorable day than just riding Spaceship Earth for the 50th time.
It does, and it raises a really provocative question for the future.
Yeah.
We traditionally talk about the three pillars, right? Visual, performing, and culinary arts.
Mm-hmm.
But with this deep integration of the Lorcana game and these complex scavenger hunts, I think we are witnessing the birth of a fourth pillar,
And what would you call that?
interactive arts.
Oh, I like that. The park as a platform.
Exactly. If the expectation shifts from I am here to ride a ride to I am here to play the park, that changes how they design everything moving forward. EPCOT isn't just a place you go, it's a game you play.
A game with really good food, hopefully. That is a wrap on our deep dive into the 2026 EPC International Festival of the Arts. Check your dining reservations, grab your quest book, and we'll see you in the queue. Thanks for listening.
Stay curious.